has often been said that having a college degree pays off, but obtaining an MBA, for instance, often incurs around $75,000 in student debt. Similar costs can be incurred for other less valuable or even useless degrees, such as mass media or liberal arts. Regardless of one's stance on cancelling student debt, it is clear that there are better ways to spend that money than pursuing a degree with decreasing value. Before exploring alternative options to student debt, it is important to answer the question of whether a college degree increases earning potential. Universities often claim that individuals with a bachelor's degree earn approximately $1.2 million more in their lifetime compared to those with only a high school education. However, this claim is biased and not necessarily supported by independent studies. In fact, only 36% of workers with a bachelor's degree earn more than those with a master's degree. This is because higher education and social sciences have become more focused on ensuring that students repay their loans, leading many to enroll in MLM schemes or become professors themselves. For instance, there are 7,600 archaeologists in the US, but 5,100 of them are professors, meaning that there are more professors than practicing archaeologists. Similarly, there are nearly 3 million psychology graduates in the US, but only 82,000 are employed as psychologists, meaning that only 3% are working in their field. Having a college degree does not guarantee an increase in pay. Historically, obtaining a student loan for higher education was seen as a wise investment, as the returns were greater than the cost. After World War II, loans were introduced to help veterans attend college for free or at a low cost. Later, federal loans were made available to any promising student. By the early 90s, student loans were still seen as a wise investment, but by the 2000s, college had become more of an experience, with loans widely available and most people taking them out just to go to college. As a result, student debt began to rise and now stands at almost $400 billion, having surpassed $1 trillion by 2012. College had become more of an insurance, attended by those who wanted to be safe rather than sorry. But in the present time, where the total student debt in the United States is sitting at $1.6 trillion, college feels more like a country club where you have to pay an increasingly high membership rate just to hang out with the cool kids. It has nowhere near the same value it used to have when it was first introduced. You know, only 5% of people applying to Harvard get in, but 98% graduate. You see, getting in is the difficult part, but once you're in, everyone graduates. So, if your higher education can be treated as a verifiable investment or an experience, it may make sense to pursue it. But with all of this said, what's better than going into debt for a college degree? Individual education in the right industry. There are two major forms of education, one organized and conventional, such as high schools, colleges, and universities. They start and end at a given point and are also organized around the lowest common denominator, meaning that everyone should be able to finish them regardless of their skill level. The other is individual and long-lasting, such as courses, books, talks, trial and error, side hustles, businesses, and so on. They start when you decide to start and never stop. They can be free, accessible, or highly expensive. This type of education has a direct correlation with your chances of success. The more involved you are in your personal education, the further you will go in life. The World Economic Forum estimates that by 2025, 50% of all employees will need reskilling or upskilling, and ironically enough, one of the most important skills for the future is education itself, or more specifically, active learning. There are more and more new things to do and fewer people who know how to do them, which is why self-education is so important. Just because you're passionate and work hard, it doesn't mean you're entitled to a big payday. Not all industries are created equal, and they keep changing every 5 to 10 years. Right now, programmers are better paid than digital artists, but there will be a point when programming becomes a commodity and creativity takes its place. In fact, the World Economic Forum puts creativity above programming for 2025. This doesn't mean that programmers will become extinct in 3 years, but it's important to be aware that the right industry changes constantly. So how can you hit the right industry to increase your chances of success? There are 3 ways to do it. 1, by luck and various circumstances, because sometimes you just happen to be in the right industry. Good for you. 2, by predicting what the next right industry is and following where smart people put their money. They have noticed a lot of shifts toward green energy and climate change. And 3, by getting really good at adapting. This can be done by learning how to learn, so when the time comes, your ability to adapt and break through in an entirely different industry will be much easier. This approach applies regardless of your position. If you are considering enrolling in college and if that decision may not be entirely yours, we understand that. However, that doesn't mean you should stop pursuing your own self-education. If you have already completed college and are now paying off student debts, hopefully, you have benefited from the student debt cancellation. Now is the time to start your education, and if you are free of student debt, that's even better. Let's discuss the first few steps in your self-education journey to get you started. First, find your right industry. You don't have to be in the industry from the start. Take a few hours of your time to try different things out. Many industries offer free trials, and you may even be able to attend live surgeries under the right circumstances. Second, find thought leaders from your industry. In every industry, there are those who preach and those who follow. Find those who preach and become a follower. Third, use these thought leaders to curate knowledge for you. A business course from someone who has sold a $100 million company will be more valuable than any business school, regardless of the price. Note that some people wonder why they should pay for information that is free. However, you're not paying for free knowledge. You are paying for speed and efficiency. Just like walking is free, but you still take an Uber. We personally spend thousands of dollars every year on different forms of self-education, including courses, books, talks, and one-on-ones, sometimes to confirm a theory, to find specific knowledge, or to get information faster. There's always something to gain. You can start with a smaller budget. To summarize, getting a student loan may make sense if it is an investment or an experience, but college is becoming more like a superficial security net or a membership to a country club. Your traditional higher education may not have a significant impact on your earning potential, as industries are constantly changing, and many degrees are becoming redundant. Self-education will always outperform traditional education because you learn how to learn, which is a top-tier skill for the future, and it is infinitely cheaper. Being in the right industry is more important than being well prepared, which doubles down on your ability to self-educate. Thank you for watching until the end. If you found the video informative, don't forget to like and subscribe to Financial Literacy. I appreciate you viewing, and I'll see you in the next one.